Hello, hello, I'm Kads, and welcome to today's video. As you might have noticed, we've got an upgrade. We now look like an official YouTuber. So if you guys were wondering where the ad revenue goes towards, it goes towards stuff like this, the green screen behind me, upgrading my setup to improve the quality of the videos. So as the channel continues to grow, you may or may not see some of the upgrades along the way, maybe new cameras, maybe new monitors, new hardware, perhaps a more comfortable chair, whatever seems necessary to improve the quality of the videos. And the best part is you guys don't really have to do anything different. You just keep watching the videos, assuming you enjoy the content, and eventually that will turn into more ad revenue that I can reinvest. But of course, this is not an economics video. This is a shard pulling video, and we are going to be pulling some shards because the portal is alight with the lovely blue hue, meaning it is once again time for 2x Ancients. But not just any old 2x Ancients. There's also a 10x on Harima, who thankfully I already have, and I love her to absolute death. But wouldn't mind a duplicate. Eventually probably would be empowerment, but for now in the short term it would definitely be for the faction guardians, because I believe that would be the second set complete. Yeah, because we have 3 Mishinakis, but we don't have a second pair, so that would be nice. Unfortunately for Harima, she would really love this 10% defense, so we're gonna need a lot more duplicates to get there. But in the meantime, hey, a little extra attack for like ninja is not a bad thing, so we'll see if we can get her. But of course, as always, we're never pulling without a purpose. There's also the scored fusion going on right now, and I'm pretty much like halfway done through all of the events and tournaments that are applicable, meaning that I have 2 of the epics already completed and leveled and whatnot, but we are focusing on the champion chase here for today. The milestone is at 3,000 points, which is where I guessed it in the fusion plan. But because there is a legendary tome that's not much further away, 3650, we're going to try and go out there because, of course, we do have a boatload of Ancients to spare. You can see here that I got credit for those 2 epics that I mentioned. I waited until the champion chase started to fuse those for the fusion. And I might be able to get the 3rd one before this ends tomorrow. We'll kind of see if that happens, but I'm not going to account for that in the math for today. But 675 is where we're going to be starting off. And so we basically need 3,000 points. So somewhere in the ballpark of 60 to 70 Ancients, depending on RNG, is how many it's going to take. So if we hop over into the portal, let's take a look at the overall shard count on the account. 723 on the Ancients, which of course we will be diving into today. 208 on the Void, 16 on the Primals, and then 51 on the Sacred Shards. Definitely have to get used to being able to see behind myself. So bear with me as we learn how to use this fantastical feature. In terms of Mercy, we're about a quarter of the way there. As you can see here, focusing on this row, 64 Ancients pulled, 136 until Mercy. So roughly, again, you know, if we don't get a legendary, 60 to 70 will bring us closer to Mercy, but not, you know, super close. It's probably close enough for a POGO event, I will say, but we'll just see what happens. You never know. We might get a legendary reset Mercy. None of this will matter. And as is the tradition around here, when there is a 10x featuring a champion that we want, we skip all the other champions on the wish list and we focus in on the one being featured, in this case Harima. Although, to be fair, we did get Bad Alcazar a couple weeks ago, which was the 10x champion as well, so I doubt we're going to go back to back on legendaries actually hitting the 10x, which is about like a 5% chance or so, give or take. So not getting my hopes up, but nonetheless, you never know. And of course, epics are going to be the bulk of the points, so we are still in the market for the last epic for the Lady Mikage fusion, Elisanya here. So if we do get her, that will be, I will be able to fuse my second copy of Lady Mikage. The first one being the one I got from a Remnant summon, and you can see I do have 3 of those, but we're not going to use those this time around. I typically save those for when I'm trying to preserve Mercy. So 2x Voids, 2x Sacreds, depending on, you know, relative expectations of a future POGO event. But in this case for Ancients, not that big of a deal playing around Mercy as much. We'll just play the odds, and if we get bad RNG, then we're going to be closer or in a better position for the POGO. All right, so let's get into the pulls. We've got some space, we've got some cash, and hopefully we get some pretty decent luck. Probably, let's say below average, because we got lucky last time, so it has to balance itself out. So below average luck. We just want a good return on epics to make sure that we don't have to make some space and deal with that whole thing. So here we go. Hopefully we can fill up our stuff in the 70 spaces I have allotted. Starting off with 2 epics, that's basically what you want to see during a 2x. 580 points, which means we're just over 1,000 points. So 2,500 to go. Neldor is nice. I have both of these epics, which is good, but Neldor, really good for hard mode Fire Knight because of the A1 here with the 3 times at random, each with a chance to freeze. Kind of equivalent or functionally equivalent to Crowd in the Blues A1, so really strong for that. He also has decreased speed, decreased attack, a bunch of stuff. Really kitted for that fight. Aox, remember, has seen a lot of play in the Iron Twin, specifically paired with Geomancer, but he's also good in the Curse City. He can solo like the Scarab King variations and stuff like that. Assuming you have Blood Shield, of course. Well, at least that makes it easier, unless you have to want to build him with a ton of resistance. Summon, or 10 pull number 2. 3 epics? Can we make it 4? Hey, we'll take it. 3 epics, pretty good. 820 points, so we're somewhere around 1,800-ish points in the champion chase. Jareg, featured on my specific Iron Twins team because of the ally protection paired with Broodlord. Allows me to pretty much maintain decreased speed up the entire time, so super handy. But also just a really strong ally protector, increased defense champion. Masamoto, not really that amazing. I'm not going to talk about him. But Mordecai, one of the best AoE HP burners for epics. Even though it's on a 4-turn cooldown, it is affinity friendly because he just places it. And so you don't have to worry about weak hits. Number 3 on the 10 pops. What are we gonna get in this one? I don't think I'm looking for any rares at the moment as we get. Oh, okay. I was like, as we get. Hey, we'll take that. Okay. So I thought it was gonna be a 10 pop of rares, but there you go. Illusinia. Honestly, don't know what she does. It doesn't really matter because we have achieved it. Lady Mikage number 2 can now be fused, so that will probably be strategically done during some future Fusion Champion chase, depending on how I want to play it. I already have Kira the Watcher, for those who don't recall, and she's already level 60, fully ascended, ready to go. Tatsu's already been fused and is leveled up and ready to go, and so I'm just fusing an extra copy of Kira the Watcher just because I want to keep the one that I have, just in case I happen to need her in some future content. And so basically, you just need to fuse the 5-star one, keep that one, and then I can fuse the second Mikage. So that, again, that will be in some future state, probably during a fusion, 2x Voids, 2x Sacreds, when I want to save on some shards. In terms of points, we should be somewhere around 2,200, so we're trending fairly decently here, again averaging around 2 epics per 10 pop, which is exactly where we want to be, so that is all goodness. Another epic, Kitus. I hear he's fun if you can use his secret skill to do some fun shenanigans, but I've never actually built him myself, and he's kind of out of the meta, at least for the current state of affairs. Another 300 points in the bag, meaning that we're probably somewhere around 2,500, so about 1,000 points to go. 2 more 10 pops with 2 epics each should probably take us over. Don't do the. Okay. Whew, wow. Saved right at the end. Fane, one of the coolest clan boss champions, at least for like unkillable block damage teams, just because she has the decreased defense and weaken for 3 turns on a 4-turn cooldown, deals a decent amount of damage. One of the highest base attacks, I think, for an epic as well, if not the highest. And then poisons and decreased attacks, so you can keep your team alive if you're running a traditional team. All that, granted, she's very squishy, but nonetheless, just a really high-powered DPS for Demon Lord clan boss. Captain Tamila, a decent healer for Dark Elves, but I don't recommend using her, and I haven't used her myself, so grain of salt on her. Next 10 pop, 500 more points, meaning that we're somewhere around 3,000-ish, 3,100 or so. 2 epics should do it. No, I guess it was going to happen eventually. We got the all blue there, so that's basically not helpful. So 33-ish hundred. Please don't give me all blues again. 1 epic. Oh gosh. Okay. Well, that's unfortunate. We'll have to check in on the chase because that might not have actually been enough points, and we might have to make some space and come back here because we're not going to miss out. Yeah, okay. We're not going to miss out on the legendary tome. It's basically a gimme at this point. We should be somewhere around 35. Oh, so close. 3,500 points. Now, the smart thing to do if I was truly going to min-max it would be to just like pull singles until I get another epic, and that would basically just kind of min-max the amount of shards. But since I have so many ancients, pulling another 10 is just a lot quicker and a lot easier. All right, space has been created, and we're practically guaranteed to get the legendary tome here because the worst thing we could do is get another all blue, but that's technically not possible because we will hit epic mercy right there with the Caden. So we're guaranteed to get at least 1 epic in this set. We got Caden, decent reviver for Dark Elves, and Royal Guard. That is another duplicate for empowerment. So I think that's either +2 or +3 for the Royal Guard. So 500 points guaranteed. We now have the legendary tome, and that is going to conclude our session for today. But let's check in on the chase. Don't really have to double check the math because we kind of know. But yeah, so Fusion Rare is acquired, which was the main goal, and the secondary goal was, of course, to get out to the first legendary tome. Pretty solid, and we'll save that energy for the upcoming champion training event. All right, so there you have it. Lady Mikage, the fusible one, is officially completed. So if I hadn't have pulled the one that I have now from the Remnant Summon, it would have taken however long it's been since she came out. Honestly, it feels like over a year, but that's probably a little bit of an exaggeration. No legendary, no Harima, but that is a-okay. We did get a good bunch of epics, a lot of them being useful and or just empowerment ones. But if we throw the Mercy Tracker back up on the screen, we pulled 80 Ancient Shards in the end because we had to make an additional 10 spaces. And so now we're in a good contention for the POGO event that I was talking about before. So 76 to go till Mercy, which means the worst case it would just be 96 in order to guarantee the legendary. So if there's an ancient POGO in the somewhat near term, obviously now I have a lot of food that I need to crunch in order to make room for said summons. But nonetheless, that is an option. It's an opportunity if that happens in the relative near term. So yeah, that is going to do it for today's video. I will once again reiterate that there is going to be a Lady Mikage showcase coming soon. She did win the community tab poll that I put up a few weeks ago, so we will honor that and make a video showcasing all the places that I use her in. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys got for your summons, assuming you were pulling just because it's 2x ancients, or if you were pulling for the fusion rare. And if you did enjoy the video, then be sure to hit that like button down below. It really does help out the channel, and feel free to subscribe to the channel as well if you are enjoying the content. Thanks for watching and have a good one.